Live.
What's up, y'all? Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I never know what day it
It
is.
is Wednesday. We got Wednesday today.
I think last week someone was like, or 2 weeks ago, they're like, is someone gonna tell them it's Friday? I think I said it was Thursday, but whatever, yo. Let me get this retweeted right now. I know our guy Onor was in the chat. Bunch of people want to hear what we have to say about Kyrie as we support Kyrie types, and that's about to happen right now. Let's see. Only place I'm talking Nets and talking Kyrie right now. Tweet. All right. Chat. Jared, what up, yo? What up, Jared? What up? All right, cool. So we're recording and we're just gonna start this thing, man. So a couple people a couple people are tweeting at me about Kyrie. It's been an interesting week, and I'm gonna give it a second or two so we can get a couple people in the chat because I just retweeted the tweet, and then
Yeah, you can hit your intro and then we can go in.
I'll do the intro, and you guys have heard this 125 times before. Coming to you live from the Bronx, the John Boy Media headquarters, not too far from where the Yankees play. Shout out to the Yankees. I know y'all see that. Giancarlo Stanton. All right, here we go. Talking Nets, episode 126. Man, Kyrie's name is in everybody's mouth, and it's actually surprising to me to see Nets fans consistently turn on him. It's interesting how many people get upset over nothing. Y'all gotta chill. D'Angelo Russell came out and tweeted, Kyrie is goated. That's our guy D'Lo. So the title of the episode is Kyrie is goated. Training camp begins. We're going to talk about Kyrie. We're going to talk about the start of training camp and media day. And hopefully you enjoy. Talking Nets. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Welcome back to Talking Nets, episode 126. Keith McPherson and Hudson Flynn joining you from the Bronx, New York, live at the John Boy Media headquarters. We got a bunch to talk about, but quickly, because Hudson's got to get back to campus and class. Hudson Flynn, can you say what's up to the people?
How we doing on this fine Wednesday, September 29th? A big day for one person in particular in this Nets community. Kevin Durant, number 7.
Happy birthday to you. 33. I'm 33. Me and Katie the same age. I knew that already. 15 years in the league. Hudson wore the jersey today. KD, we appreciate you. We are glad to have you. We are pumped about you being a Net for the next 5 years, leading us to the promised land, unfinished business and all that. Katie, enjoy the day, enjoy practice. I'm sure the team and the guys are doing nice things for
There's
going
to be something on Nets social media that's going to be like what they did, like a birthday surprise, and Kevin Durant is going to be completely unamused.
What, Kevin, why do they call you KD? Because my first name is, Dave Letterman. Media Day, man. So let's go there first, right? Media Day was Monday, and it's interesting. If we had the Talking Nets Twitter, which I'm starting to get real tight about, but if we had the Talking Nets Twitter, I actually had a way to slide into Media Day next year. Next year will be at Media Day for 2022, but it looked good. I watched the presentation on the Yes Network. Ryan Rucco, Sarah Kustok hosted. I think it was 2 hours from like 10 a.m. to 12. All the players there, except one guy, which we'll get to. It was great to see Patty Mills in a Brooklyn Nets jersey. It was great to see Paul Millsap in a Brooklyn Nets jersey. He went with number 31. I thought he potentially was going to take 4. Chioza dipped and left 4 behind. But yeah, man, Hudson, your thoughts from Media Day, just watching as a fan, the kickoff of another NBA season. I feel like the offseason was so short. It went so fast. And I was just happy on Monday to see the Brooklyn Nets in the Barclays Center together, kicking off what we hope to be a championship run.
I mean, they were there. They were doing it. They were in their uniforms. It was exciting. It really was. And even aside from all of the questions, all of the interviews, all of the nonsense that somehow got David Letterman press credentials, it was fun. It was fun hearing them talk. I mean, it was good that we get to see, a little bit of their sense of humor come out. And, that's one thing that I really appreciate too, because a lot of the times, you'll hear interviews in the post game, because we always tell everybody, always watch the post game. We always watch the post game after every game. And it's the emotions of the game are really what's impacting these players, right? So, if they lose a bad one to the Pistons, they might not be too happy. None of that sense of humor is going to come out. They win one, but don't look too great. Again, maybe not going to have that sense of humor. But now when there's no game to talk about, there's nothing to talk about other than what's going to happen in the future. It just seemed like a fun, good time. Obviously, great production value. The Yes Network never misses. The Brooklyn Nets never miss when it comes to that production value. So I was thrilled to see it, and I was thrilled to see the way that every player on the team, including Kyrie Irving, who was not there in person but was there through live stream, acted that day.
Yeah, shout out to Onor. Onor said, don't forget about James Johnson. I will not forget about the new addition of James Johnson. He's been pulling up already with the fits. We've seen him in Brooklyn in the community. You guys know he's a black belt. And he basically had a quote where, someone asked him about his role of being an enforcer on the team. And he said, hey, I'm with whatever. I love James Johnson's energy. And he also had another quote where he said that the guys are already vibing. Like, the locker room is already vibing. They haven't played a game yet. They had one practice, but he said you could feel the vibe and the energy. And I think that's around the amount of veterans that we have on this team. And I think that's around the amount of talent we have on this team, right? We know that there's only one goal, bone goal. We know that these guys are coming together for one reason. And that vibe has already flown through the team. And there's nothing that's going to throw this team off. Patty Mills, man. Patty Mills, I saw doing the WFAN reads with Tim Capistraw and Chris Carino. Nailed it. Can't wait to hear those. What else for Media Day? James Harden.
You looking slim down.
We might
big man looking slim down.
We might get the best version of the bearded one the NBA has seen. This is his 13th season. He wears number 13. He said all he did was work on his body. He said he's coming in this year with probably in the best shape of his life. So you guys know what happened when you saw the fat suit last year. He didn't want to be in Houston. He had to come in that way, shortened off season, whatever. And he said it even himself. He's like, usually I'm more durable, but now, this season we're going to get that revenge tour, scarier hours.
And he said he's going for an MVP.
He is the MVP. He was there the MVP last year before he got hurt. I know they were talking about Jokic. And, I mean, we even made the shirts, I am the MVP, when he came out and said that in the press conference. He knows he's the best player, all-around player in the NBA. Best scorer, I guess, KD is up there as the best player. But when we're talking about MVP, I think if you had to pick one player from the Nets this year to be the MVP, it would be Harden. I think KD is going to get off. He's going to have his games that he's going to drop 40. But that was also like what people are seeing at the end of last season was like KD had to do that. I don't think we're going to see that on a consistent basis. You're not going to see KD shooting that many shots on a consistent basis, but
we're going to see what we saw from him at the beginning of last season. And he was at the top of the MVP ladder. Then what we're going to see is rebounds and just relentless scoring. And that's all we need from him during the regular season. I do not want him to come out and play like he had to play in the playoffs. Obviously, very different situation. We have a fully healthy team now, knock on wood. But I don't expect to see Kevin Durant have to come out like that. But the thing with James Harden is he's always coming out like that, right? He's always going to be, the old style pass first point, but also that guy that can score, also that guy that gets rebounds. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting he might average a triple-double through the first month or so of the season. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, anything is possible. Sky is the limit with this team. And Harden is in shape. And another guy who said he added some muscle and was looking like he was in shape is our guy, Nick Claxton. Love to see Claxton and Day'Ron Sharpe together. I think we're going to get a big year out of Nick Claxton. I think he's going to be out there demanding his respect. Another quote from Harden was he said something along the lines of Nick Claxton is reminds him of Clint Capella, but
better,
but more skilled
yeah.
offensively. Like,
and then Steve Nash, I believe, also came out and said that Clax was the most versatile defender on the entire team, which I don't know if y'all seen KD play defense with a similar build, but that's some high praise.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to waste too much time because we know what y'all want to hear. We know what y'all want to talk about. As this camp being, we support Kyrie, and we obviously have been supporting Kyrie. We are supporting him through this week of nonsense. None of that is going to change, and we gotta explain why, right? I see a lot of people like, Keith, why are you supporting this guy? Keith, why is it always we support Kyrie? What if he misses? We're going to talk about all of that, but first, let's kick off a voicemail, and that'll lead us into the Kyrie chatter.
I was watching Media Day and watching Kyrie's live stream and all that on IG Live. I wholeheartedly believe, I don't think I'm the only one that believes this. I wholeheartedly believe he's either already vaccinated or on his way to be vaccinated, because the way the team was handling it, Bruce Brown and Joe Harris saw it as a joke. Nobody sees it as an issue. Man, I love this team. I love the camaraderie. I love the chemistry. I cannot wait for the season to start.
I'm going to run that back because I think I missed the beginning where he said his name. Let's see.
What's going on, guys? It's Greg from Jersey. I was watching Media Day. And
Greg from Jersey. I think you listen to Talking Nets, and I think you're on the same wave that we're on.
Because he had the positive energy. That's what it is. It's like, here's my thing with Nets fans, and obviously I'm one of them, and it does make me laugh because we're talking about, bone goal. I don't know if everybody knows where that comes from.
I got to find – I know where to find the picture, but I have to find a bone goal shirt. But and that's going to be – because bone goal is back this year. There's only bone goal, and we'll fill y'all in because I know there's some newer Nets fans. We'll fill y'all in as the season goes on. But go ahead, Hudson.
Yeah, Nets fans – there seems to be this addiction that we have as a community to like self-hatred and to just not being happy. Like, and particularly when it comes to the Kyrie things, there's always something bringing it back. There's always something, temper your expectations. Don't be too excited. Can't ever get too low if you don't go too high. I don't like that. I don't like that vibe. And it seems like, especially with Kyrie, Nets fans just have this tendency to miss the forest and look at the trees, right? Look at these individual things that maybe they don't agree with what he's saying. Maybe they don't agree with how he's handling his personal life. But man, the forest is what he's doing on the basketball court, is what he's doing averaging more than 20. It's averaging 27 points with, 40, 50, 90 season. It's the greatness that you get to experience from him. But as we saw this weekend, we'll continue to see throughout the season with Kyrie in particular, Nets fans just can't be happy.
So I said this on Twitter when all of this was going on Monday. I watched Media Day, and when Kyrie wasn't at Media Day, people hit the panic button. Oh, my God, he's not at Media Day because of health and safety protocols. That means he's not vaccinated. That means he's not going to play. And then he got on his own Instagram Live and also did the Zoom, which people only saw clips and pieces of it. But he started the Zoom off by saying, I don't want to talk about any of that. Let's talk about basketball. This is the same guy that called the media pawns, right? I tweeted out, I love Kyrie. No one has his powers, because literally no other person has his power to just pull at people, tug at people, get people all bothered and uneasy over nothing. I replied to a Nets fan that was just like, I'm so tired of Kyrie, man. Is it even worth it? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, it's September 27th. Don't let Kyrie Irving ruin your Monday. Like, you're doing too much. He's literally chilling at his house on Instagram and Zoom, laughing about it afterwards because you don't know everything. You're all jumping at one thing, right? Hudson, are you vaccinated?
Of course.
I'm vaccinated too. Hudson, do you care to share when you got vaccinated?
I can. I got vaccinated as soon as I could, right in March, early.
I got vaccinated as soon as I could in March. I drove 40 minutes to get the first shot, and there wasn't even a thought to not get it because I had to sit in my house last year and not be able to go and do things freely, right? I go to games. I wasn't allowed to go to any baseball games, basketball games, football games. That's the most fun I feel like I have is going to a live sporting event. I wasn't allowed to do that. So as soon as the vaccine became available, I looked at it as a no-brainer. Now, do I have friends, family, random people I know that are unvaccinated? I do. Do you know anyone that's unvaccinated?
Yeah, I do.
There's plenty of people that are unvaccinated. There are billions of people that are, but this isn't an issue about vaccinated or unvaccinated with Kyrie. Kyrie's name is in everyone's mouth. I saw a tweet this morning where Hoops Hype said a Spanish president and NBA fan Pedro Sanchez talks about Kyrie Irving and COVID conspiracies at the parliament. Why? Why? And he was speaking in Spanish, so I didn't understand that. But I just was like shocked. And then someone tweeted to me, Kyrie is a global player. My son was in Haiti playing basketball with kids that don't own TVs, but they were chanting Kyrie after every basket. Kyrie's actions have global effects in places people aren't sophisticated enough to say, oh, it's just Kyrie being Kyrie. Come on, yo, miss me with all that, okay? Kyrie is one of the best basketball players you have literally ever seen. And that's why he makes you feel this way, because you want to see him play. The narrative about Kyrie being selfish, he literally on his stream said, I don't want to be a distraction. I don't want to talk about that right now. Please respect my privacy. That's it. What did Brad Beal get on the microphone and podium and do? Brad Beal got on the microphone and podium and challenged the vaccine. He thought he was schooling people like he's some kind of doctor.
No,
like
he went on his Nicki Minaj. You see that? But no, look, for me, the thing with Kyrie though is if there is one person in the world, and I know we've heard it, a lot of people who aren't getting vaccinated, and I just want to say personally, if you're not getting vaccinated, you're not smarter than doctors. Like, don't act like you are, because you're not. You're not. Brad Beal, maybe he's a great smart guy. I don't know. Not smarter than doctors, but like a lot of people will be out there like, it's private. I don't want to tell you. That's none of your business. And that's just shorthand for a lot of people for I didn't get vaccinated, but I don't want to deal with the consequences of it. But with Kyrie, if there's one person that, does everything he can to make sure that his private life stays private, it's Kyrie Irving. And legitimately and honestly, when Kyrie said that I don't want to put my team in a bad position, I believed him. And I do think he's vaccinated. I really do not think that there is a story to this other than the fact that people just love assuming the worst from Kyrie. And at the end of the day, getting vaccinated is a step towards winning a championship. It means increased contact with players. It means not missing games because of vaccine requirements. The Nets play in Brooklyn. He would have to miss games. That's simply not going to happen. He is a team-first player. He has always been a team-first player. Why do you think he's so beloved in the locker room?
Yo, there was a stupid ass tweet that I read this week. I don't know if I have. Oh, I do have it right here. From Chris Williamson. He said, Kyrie can't lead in the right way and be inspiring when he's liking posts that suggest secret societies are trying to implant vaccines that connect Black people to a master computer for a plan of Satan. Hey, yo. And then he attached his article where he wrote all about it. You people are mad at Kyrie for Instagram likes. You don't even know if he's the one liking the post. And even if he liked the post, it's Instagram. You can like a bunch of stuff. You can like stuff by accident on Instagram with a double tap or just having your thumb where the heart is. I don't know if y'all use Instagram. They got like 1 billion users. Let's play Brad Beal, because Brad Beal, that's what I was talking to Jamie. Shout out to Jamie, Hudson's favorite caller on Talking Nets. Jamie, call in. We'd love to hear from you. And Jamie was talking about Brad Beal versus Kyrie. How come Brad Beal isn't getting the smoke that Kyrie is getting? Because they don't know Brad Beal like that. Of course, we all know who Brad Beal is, but the general world, the global, they don't know Brad Beal. So let's listen to what Dr. Beal had to say.
Every person in this world is going to make their own decision for themselves. I would like an explanation to people with vaccines, why are they still getting COVID? If that's something that we are supposed to highly be protected from, like, that's funny that, it reduces your chances of going to the hospital. It
I'm
doesn't
so
eliminate
glad he's
anybody
not
from
on our
getting COVID,
team.
right? So is everybody in here vaxxed? I would assume, right? So you all can still get COVID, right?
The look on his face was so like smug, like he really thought he was saying something.
Okay, but you can still get COVID, right? So, and you can still pass it along
If
with
I was
the vax, right?
Ted Leonsis, the owner of
I'm not
that
asking,
team,
I'm just asking the question.
I don't even know what I would do.
So he's like, he's got this look on his face like he's schooling these reporters. And we don't have to play any more Brad Bill because this is not Talking Wizards. But what I played that for was to show you the contrast between what Kyrie said and what Beal said. Do I have Kyrie? I think I do have Kyrie's video because we posted it on Talking Nets. I watched his whole live stream. I watched the whole Zoom. The first thing he said was that he didn't want to talk about that.
That's just now hitting my stride with
So
my teammates.
If Kyrie just declined to speak on the matter, you don't know if he's vaccinated, if he's not. Another report came out from, I think, NBA Central, and they're suggesting that KD is the one that like talked to Kyrie or whatever, right? League sources expect Kyrie Irving to eventually take the COVID-19 vaccine. League sources believe Irving will wind up taking the vaccine, citing influence from his close friend and teammate, Kevin Durant. Now, I don't think that KD is that much of an influence on him if he had a hard stance against the vaccine. I don't think a friend. You think they haven't talked about it? Right? You think they haven't had a conversation about it? No. Kyrie, low-key, is a troll. Because he has power, he knows he can use it. He plays with the media pawns. He called them pawns, right? Kyrie is a hooper. He doesn't work in a hospital. I feel bad because honestly, like when you do see these rules and things that are going on, like people are losing their jobs because
Cam Newton.
No, not Cam Newton.
Cam Newton lost that backup job.
Yeah, Cam Newton lost his job, but it wasn't so much for the vaccine. But I'm talking about like medical officials, right? We're here in New York to deploy National Guard to fill expected staff shortages as unvaccinated nurses and hospital workers will be fired effective tonight. That's something I saw from Instagram, and this girl was talking about how our frontline workers went from being heroes to now losing their jobs if they don't want to take the vaccine. Now, if you're a healthcare worker and you work in medicine, I don't understand why you would lose your job over the vaccine. You saw it up close last year. Like, I don't know. But Kyrie is not in that field. He's a basketball player. He plays basketball. He's a hooper. And you know what he said? He's going to be there for his team. And he was yesterday at the first day of training camp. So I got no issues with it. Let me play. I'll go ahead and play a little clip from Kyrie's Zoom. I know you guys have all saw it, but like listen to how he goes about speaking on this.
Continue to, persevere. So did a lot of work this summer, had a chance to, meet with.
Wait till the question comes in. I'm not sure. Did Brian Lewis? I think Brian Lewis asked the question after he said he didn't want to talk about
take it one day at a time. So look forward to training camp and just being out there with the guys.
Brian Mahoney, AP.
Brian Mahoney.
Hey, Kyrie, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. Understanding you want to keep this private, and I do think there's, people should have privacy to a certain extent, but people are speculating about certain stances you have and that you're not going to be available to your team and that kind of thing. And just why don't you want to clear that up to some extent?
Yeah, please respect my privacy. Next question.
And that was the second time that he had to say, please respect my privacy. Next question. All right, now next topic. I think we've spoken enough on that.
It really doesn't need to be spoken on, to be honest.
We waited. I honestly, I looked at some Nets fans on Twitter. I listened to some Nets podcasts, and I was disappointed in how many people turned on Kyrie over one day of not being at media day. And then the next day, I think I put on our Instagram, I said it yesterday, I was like, y'all really mad at Kyrie. And then the next day I woke up, I said, are you as mad now? And I feel like people were less mad because they saw him in camp with his teammates, laughing, smiling, having a good time, playing basketball, which is his job and what he loves to do. All that extra stuff, all the media stuff, Kyrie don't even want to do his medias.
Whatever. We
Whatever,
can move
man.
forward beyond this drama, because at the end of the day, it won't matter to the basketball season. It really won't make a difference. I hope Kyrie is vaccinated. I think he should be vaccinated, but I don't think Kyrie's the kind of guy to put his team in a bad position.
I'm not worried about it. It is September 29th. If Kyrie got the first shot today, he'd be good. And you only need one shot. You just have to have one shot in you. So he could literally wait until the day before tip-off and take the first shot. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Mind your own business. Worry about yourself. Stop getting all upset about Kyrie. The last thing on that I had to know about was the whole, can Kyrie play at MSG as a visiting player? As an unvaccinated visiting player. People are on Twitter asking if Kyrie Irving can play against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden because he's a visitor.
But he's going to be vaccinated.
He's going to be vaccinated.
Even if he's not, I think he probably is already, to be completely honest.
But to clear that up and to answer that question, no, he wouldn't be able to play as a visiting player. This is New York. He's a New Yorker. He lives in this area. He works in this area. He would have to be vaccinated. There's no loopholes here. And then Hudson just read that the NBA actually came out with their official, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're not going to make money if you want to go against this vaccination policy. You're going to be docked. You're going to lose a lot of money. And Andrew Wiggins, the reporter said to Andrew Wiggins, you could stand to lose a lot of money this year. And he said, that's my problem, not yours. And that's a whole different thing. Wiggins, Beal, that's way different than Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't want to be a distraction, and he won't be. And D'Lo, our guy, former Net, tweeted out, Kyrie is goated. Because D'Lo sees through all the nonsense. He knows what's good. D'Lo wishes he was on the Nets. And back to the Nets and training camp. I love it. University of San Diego is hosting our Brooklyn Nets. I believe the Nuggets are also in San Diego.
So are the Clippers.
And the Clippers at San Diego State and UCSD. And I just love to see the pictures, and everybody on Nets Instagram just takes the Brooklyn Nets pictures and then post them and repost them. I'm saying this right now. Talking Nets will not be a repost account. You'll get original content.
We've never been a repost account.
We've never been. We're not going to be one of those. We're not anonymous because we do the podcast. You see Hudson and I. But we're not going to be one of those Nets accounts that just reposts the same post that everybody is posting or just steals posts from the Brooklyn Nets. This season, you will see us breaking down moments. Last year, you saw me do a couple breakdowns of fouls, Trae Young, or phantom calls against Kyrie. You will see us talking about the big moments, the big topics, the news and narratives like we did last year, and it'll be Hudson and I actually talking to the camera and making videos around the Brooklyn Nets. There's not going to be this reshare fest on our page, so look out for that. Anyway, training camp. You're not allowed to take videos at training camp, so there were no videos of practice. I know on this podcast I said that I wanted to see in. I want to see these guys working out and practicing and gelling and getting right together. We're not going to get that look because they got to keep some stuff private. We didn't have this last year. We didn't have this opportunity for these guys to practice together for a full week. And from what I got from yesterday, the first day was focused on defense. That narrative last year that the Nets don't play any defense, that went away pretty quickly. It was early in the year that the Nets couldn't play any defense, and then that disappeared. We were holding teams like the Bucks under 100 points late in the season. Good. The focus should be on defense. The focus should be on the defensive scheme because we got a bunch of shooters. We got a bunch of guys that can get buckets. What did you think about what you saw from social media? Any clips, any pictures of the Brooklyn Nets officially at the University of San Diego for training camp?
I want to highlight one thing that I saw, which really made me excited. Obviously, over the summer, probably the biggest story of the summer was Cam Thomas coming in, balling out in the summer league MVP, all this stuff. Haven't really heard too much about him because all the story's been about the big names, right? Our stars. But after the first day of training camp, Nets Daily wrote that Bruce Brown heaped quite a lot of praise about how difficult it is to guard Cam Thomas. And that was, it made my day because first off, Bruce Brown,
good defender.
good defender, known for locking down James Harden and Kyrie Irving on several occasions when they were on different teams. But now we're hearing it in training camp about Cam Thomas, about someone who is on the rise, who might be the answer to some of the Nets' questions in the future. I'm just excited. I'm thrilled to hear about all this because, first off, who better can you get praise from? But if you're hearing comments about people like that down the depth chart, it's over. It's over because we know what we're getting from the big three. We probably know what we're getting from Paul Millsap and LaMarcus Aldridge and those guys. But we have some question marks.
I mean,
I'm excited.
I hate to cut you off because I know that you guys are the same age, so you're probably looking forward to seeing a guy your age play for the Nets. But I'm
not. That makes me feel too old. I'm not. When people my age start getting drafted, that's how I know I'm old. It's not fun.
I'm way past that. I have watched people's whole careers. I was watching the NFL the other day, and Greg Olson was in the booth, and I was like, wow. Greg Olson played football in New Jersey, went to University of Miami, went to play for Carolina Panthers, and now he's in the booth. I watched his whole career. I'm old. That's fine. But I don't think Cam Thomas is going to get that many minutes.
You're wrong, man.
There's too many veterans.
There's going to be like minutes restrictions. There's
Patty
going
Mills
to be
is on
load
this team.
management.
Javon Carter is on his team. We don't ever say his name. Bruce Brown. There's plenty of guards.
First off, we know Bruce Brown's a center. There's no one on this team that, other than the big three, that can do what Cam Thomas does. Patty Mills on this team is going to be an off-the-ball player. An off-the-ball three-point shooter, shot 42% off-ball catch and shoot threes.
This ain't summer league. They said, this is what I read about Cam Thomas. Without a doubt, they know he's a bucket getter. They know he's a walking bucket. Easy. We saw that in summer league, and we saw that at LSU. That's why they drafted him. But they're saying he's got to buy in. He's got to work on his defense. He's got to learn what to do without the ball in his hands to earn the minutes where, he'll get a chance to shoot it. I just don't think – I think him and Day'Ron Sharpe are going to get a first-class lesson in the NBA in training camp and these first couple preseason games. And I just don't think that they're ready. And I think that we have enough depth that you're going to forget about them. They're going to be at the end of the bench. Unless Cam Thomas is some type of freak that really can just play at an NBA level.
You're forgetting that Alize Johnson put up a 2020 game. You're forgetting that we had Mike. We had
nobody on the team, bro. Last year we were looking through the G League, the D League, the Q League. We went to Russia. We took Mike James out of Russia. We were signing guys that could help because we traded away our depth. It's a different thing this year. The Brooklyn Nets roster, as currently constructed, is ridiculous, right? I don't have to run through the names, but if we're looking at guards that are in camp, obviously you have KD, or obviously you have Kyrie, Harden. Don't forget about Joe Harris, David Duke Jr. Don't forget about Bruce Brown, Patty Mills. There's a bunch of guards in front of him. I just don't see where a 19-year-old rookie can jump these veterans, even if he is a walking bucket. The boy is water. I seen him play. I know all that. I just think as a rookie, he's almost an automatic red shirt. I would love to be wrong.
I feel like that with Day'Ron Sharpe. I really do. I feel like that with Day'Ron Sharpe. But what I think is the reality is that last year, and I know it's a different season, we know what we're getting from the big three, right? Where they're walking buckets, they're going to score, they're going to run the league. We didn't see as much staggering of minutes as I would have liked. And I don't know if that's going to change, but based on what we saw last year, we saw them all go out when they were all healthy at the same time, playing at the same time. And then we would run out our bench unit, right? And I'm thinking okay, we could have Javon Carter go out. He's a dog on defense. He does this, he does that. Okay. Patty Mills can go out. We know what he can do. He can score. He can play off the ball. And then we have, our big man and our forwards, at which Joe Harris, I think, slots into more so than as a guard.
I mentioned him as a guard because I just was looking for any other names to put in front of Cam Thomas, bro.
I'm just thinking that there's going to be times when the Nets need depth scoring. And with the reality of the fact is that the Nets are not going to put themselves in the same situation they put themselves in last year with their whole team getting hurt in the playoffs. There's going to be load management. There's going to be injury restrictions. I think there's going to be a chance. I don't think he's going to play every game. I don't think he's even going to average 5 minutes a game when everyone's healthy. But things are going to happen. He's going to get chances. And look, if he's getting this early praise from Bruce Brown, I don't know if there's better praise that you can get in terms of, defensive acumen.
Yo, we're coming in blurry on YouTube. Let me see if I can fix that. We're gonna wrap this up soon. Send your questions in the chat. Hudson's got to leave in like 5 minutes. I'm watching on YouTube and we're coming in blurry. Sorry about that. It's internet connection most likely, but I'll see if I can fix it. Hudson, say something about the Nets.
Go Brooklyn. Send in your questions. I'm looking in the chat for questions. See what comments. At Faizu, we got a nice close up of Keith. Says media crossing the line from reporting on the story to trying to affect the story annoys me. Yeah, that's always the way it goes with Kyrie. Vincente says Nets are building for now and future, and no one talks about it. In Marks and Nets we trust. Always in Marks we trust. That is what I do think is what the Nets are trying to do. I think they are using these draft picks that we still have all of a sudden to be able to build for the future, because we get these extensions done. What? You're extended to 25, 26? Those are going to be some old big three players, right? So we're going to need to have a future. I don't think Sean Marks is interested in doing another rebuild. So it's always good to be set up for that in the future. We got Watcher Noir says, I love the banner in the back. Isn't that good? 2015 All-Star game in Brooklyn. It's a cool backdrop. I'm into it.
Shout out to Mr. Warzel. Mr. Warzel is a lawyer for New York City, and he got me this. And he's been holding it for me since 2015. Shout out to Mark, though. He's a big John Boy Media supporter as well. Yeah, did you read the questions already? And I do see now we are coming in clear. If you saw my Nets World t-shirt, that's available at shop.johnboymedia.com. Go to podcast merch, go to Talking Nets, buy a shirt. I know some people were asking for that We Support Kyrie shirt this week. I think that might have moved, but that's pretty much all we got. The last thing I wanted to mention was that the Nets are going to have a golf outing at Torrey Pines, and they'll get to meet with Joe and Clara Tsai, who live nearby. I love that the Nets are in Cali. Like, I would love to go out there and actually see them, out there chilling like that. It's such a good vibe for training camp. But that's all we got. We got the conversation around Kyrie out of the way. The team is gelling. The team is all together in San Diego, and they're fighting to see who makes this roster. And we have a stacked group of guys. We can't take everybody, but we'll know pretty soon. And once we know, we will talk through the roster and talk through prospects on the season and what we expect. The next episode will be next Wednesday, but the first preseason game is Sunday. We got the Lakers. We might cover it on Twitter. We're working on getting the Twitter back. I would love for the Twitter to be back by Sunday. So
imagine that. Oh, it's going to be a celebration.
We don't miss. But yeah, when we get the Twitter back, we're going to throw a party. It's going to be an online celebration. That's all we've got. Appreciate you guys in the chat hanging out with us. And we appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Call the voicemail 201-870-0461. Buy the merch. Support Talking Nets. My name is Keith. This is Hudson. We're out of here. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets. Brooklyn. And then I got to give it a second, and I'll play the outro music, but then I edit it in post-production so it doesn't, ride right over. But we out.
Brooklyn, we go home.